Now, I'm curious about relationships and building wealth.
Yeah.
Is it important to, or how important is it to have the right partner in a marriage or an intimate relationship in relating to building wealth? Does it matter who you choose, their mindset? Does any of that play the effect in how much you're going to make, or?
It won't affect how much you make, but it'll affect how your relationship a lot, right? You know, getting on the same page is really, really important. But when my wife and I met, we both grew up very poor. But I decided that I was going to find a way to add so much value that money would never be a question for my family, and you know, it would never stop me from giving or doing or sharing anything. And I made that decision early on. So I became an earner. I have ways of earning. She became a negotiator, a cost manager. Her mom's number one thing is somebody comes in, she goes, sharpen your pencil. That's not a good enough deal. And so when we first met, I remember we were in New York City, and this dates me how old I am, but I remember when they first came out with digital cameras, the very first digital cameras from Sony. And it was like such a cool thing. You could take 12 pictures or whatever it was in those days. But we were down in New York City, we're in Times Square, and we went into one of those camera shops, and it was Christmas time. And I saw the camera, and I was like so excited about this camera. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna get one for my brother, my sister, my mom, and you know, I came up with, I don't know, it was like 12 cameras, and they were very expensive then. I think they were like $1,200 or $2,000 each. They were really crazy.
Now they're like 200 for the same.
Yeah, no, not even. It's a million times better. Yeah. But I went to the counter, and the guy goes, oh my God, Tony Robbins, can I take a picture with you? I'll put it on the wall. And so I said, sure. And she goes, hey, sharpen your pencil. What kind of deal are you gonna give my boyfriend here? And I wanted to grab her by the throat and just go, what are you doing here? It's like, what are you doing? And she's like, no, what's the deal here? And he goes, oh, well, I give you 10% off. She goes, sharpen your pencil, 10%. You're not taking a picture with my boyfriend. And I'm wanting to murder her, right? And I was so mad. I was so mad. And so she got like 15% off and free camera cases and all this stuff. And I'm shaking my head. When we left, I was like, we had this big fight.
Wow.
Today, I just call her Squeaky. She's my squeaky girl. She wants to go to Walmart as if we'd ever need to go to Walmart, you know? Right. And what I do is I'm delighted by the difference. And I go, you know what a beautiful gift. I've been in relationships before where I gave everything and the people were totally unconscious with money. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's nice to be on the same page. But you know, one day I told my wife I was coaching someone, and the person gave me a $250,000 bonus. I don't care who you are. It's mind-boggling. It was like, he didn't have to. It wasn't part of the deal. He pays me $1 million a year plus a piece of the upside. And he just said, Tony, you did so much for me. I just want to give you this additional $250,000 bonus. And it wasn't the money. It was the generosity that just knocked me off my seat. And so I called my wife and I said, honey, Paul just gave me a $250,000 bonus. I mean, it's like, he's so generous. And she goes, oh, that's nice, honey. Hey, do you know what I'm making for lunch? And I'm like,
wow.
You know? So I used to get upset about it. Now I'm like, that's my squeaky little girl. I'm thrilled she doesn't have to think about it. I'm in charge. Yeah. And so I don't think your partner has to. One of you has to master it. Right. And you have to have some alignment.
Okay. Right? But you don't want them to be against you, essentially.
Well, sometimes they're going to be. We were against each other in some ways. We're having fights. But what you eventually decide is, do I want to be right or do I want to be in love?
There you go.
And, I'd rather be in love personally, right?
That's a good quote.
And then also I just said, you know, to her, I said, listen, honey, I understand your intent. I had to go to her intent. Instead of being frustrated with her, saying, this is really actually a cool quality. And she's my opposite in that area. And we're a good balance together.
Right. You know, there's a lot of people that I grew up with who were poor, who had a negative mindset around money. They thought it was evil, that it was bad. Yeah. What would you say to someone who has that mindset, where they have a story around money that isn't a positive one? Yeah. They think of money, they think of evil, bad, corruption, whatever it may be. Yeah. How does someone shift it? Like, is it a daily practice? Is it something they can do right away?
It's the truth. Get to the truth. The truth is simple. Money does not change people. Money makes you more of what you are. It's a magnifying tool. If you're mean, you got a lot more to be mean with. If you're generous, you got a lot more to be generous with and give. So it's bullshit that money is anything. All money is a symbol, and we all project on that symbol different things. You can, you know, if you feel out of control with money, then you're going to project it as evil. If you feel incompetent and you see someone else more successful, oh, they're the 1%, they're the jerks. Right. Usually, by the way, they're the 0.001% you're pointing at. Right. But it used to be aspirational to be in the 1%. Yeah. Today, there's this new mindset that says they're evil, they're wrong. The people in our society that say they're the 99% are lying, because half this planet lives on $2.50 a day, right? $900 a year. if you are considered in poverty in the United States, you are the 1% of earners in the world. You are the 1%.
In poverty.
In poverty in the U.S. U.S. poverty.
You're the 1% of the world.
1% of the world's
Wow.
earners. So what you're doing is saying, poor me, while you're typing on your Apple computer or drinking a cup of Starbucks.
Final few questions. What are you most grateful for in your personal life?
My wife, by far. I mean, I love my children completely, but my wife is truly the greatest gift in my life. My kids are adults. I'm so proud of them. But she is nothing but love. She's as mission driven as I am. She doesn't have the same constitution I do. So, I'm a crazy person, 50 hours in a weekend on stage. I do literally 18 miles on the first day. You've seen going around, jumping off the stage, getting people involved.
I've walked on fire. I've done it all. It's
I know.
amazing. Yeah.
I do literally 26 miles to 27 on the third day, where I start at 8:30 in the morning and finish at 1 a.m. with one hour break. So the demands I make on my body are intense. My wife has the same will I have, not the same physical. So I try to take care of that way. But her love, her joy, her happiness lifts my soul and spirit. People say, who inspires you? I say my wife is first place. I love my children. I'm so close. One of my sons, Jarek, is, I know, a friend of yours. Yep. He's a tremendous coach. I'm really proud of him. One of my other sons is a partner in some of my financial businesses, Josh. So my family is involved with my mission, which I'm really grateful for, because people talk about work-life balance, and it's bullshit. Anybody who's an overachiever, you're not going to find balance. Balance is like a teeter-totter. If you're in a teeter-totter and you get balance for 10 minutes, you and I, what are we going to do after 10 minutes? Somebody's going to start jerking this around to have some fun, right? You're going to be bored out of your mind. So I think of it as work-life integration. And the more you can get the people you love involved with what you do for your mission or for your work, then you don't have to worry about that work-life balance.
I love that. It's a good answer. Thank you. I don't think I asked you this question last time, so I want to see what your answers are. I've been asking everyone else recently, though. If this is many, many years down the line, it's your last day. It's a very happy day. Everyone's there. You've created everything you've ever imagined. The seeds you planted are happening, and the gardens are being, created everywhere. But everything you ever produced, physical books, audio, workshops, videos, have all been erased for whatever reason. And you have one piece of paper. Your great-great-great-grandchild says, here's a piece of paper. Can you write down 3 truths? 3 things that you know to be true that we could remember you by. Since we don't have anything else, but these are the 3 things that is like your Bible.
Yeah.
The lessons that we should be remembering to use and to follow for the rest of our lives. What would you say? Those 3 things.
Love is everything. The secret to living is giving. And remember that the most important decision of your life is deciding whether you're truly committed to being happy no matter what. Because life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at all of us. There's the one thing that's in common in this lifetime is extreme stress. You're going to experience it if you haven't already, and even if you have, you will in the future. How you like this positive thinking. But it's just true. Someone you're going to care about is going to die. Someone's going to take advantage financially if you're not careful. You're going to find yourself in a position the government might change the rules and you can't do what you're doing before. Somebody call, like I've gotten a call saying you got a tumor in your brain. Those days alter you. And if you decide that you're going to live in a beautiful state of mind, that doesn't just mean happy. It means, people say, oh yeah, I'm committed to be happy, but my wife left me. Well, then you're not committed to being happy. You're committed to be happy unless your wife leaves you. And you can't control that. You can certainly influence it, but you can't control it. Or I'm going to be happy except my friend died. Your friends are going to die. Your family going to die. So the greatest gift you could give yourself, besides making this life about love and making this life about giving, because to give you have to keep growing, is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. And most achievers like you and I, we never use the word suffering, but we get stressed, we get pissed, we get overwhelmed, some people get sad or depressed, and those are all forms of suffering. And your entire life you live in one of 2 states, states of suffering or beautiful states of being.